Time now for the morning rush.
We start with Kristen Curry.
Good morning. Mostly sunny with just a few high clouds here and there today. No rain or snow expected. Temperatures, though, a little cooler than what we had over the weekend. Tomorrow looks to be warmer. Still sunshine and high clouds. No rain or snow expected this week. Sarah?
Happening today, Santa Fe leaders, school officials, and workers' rights and business groups are speaking out against recent ICE audits. The civil rights group Somos Un Pueblo Unido says immigration and custom enforcement agents have been showing up with I-9 audit forms to verify employees' authorization to work in the U.S. They say agents are targeting locally owned businesses in Santa Fe and other cities. The impact these I-9 audits have on employees and their workers coming up in the 5 Facts. David.
Happening in court today, one of the 3 suspects accused in connection to the mutilation and murder of an Albuquerque man is expected to change her plea. According to court records, Chase Motherman and Mariah Ferry are accused of kidnapping John Soika last August, while Mitchell Overhand is accused of tampering with evidence. Ferry pleaded not guilty last year. Today, she's expected to change her plea.
Also expected in court this morning, the man accused of stabbing another man. Police say over name calling. He's set to face a judge. Police say Daniel Begay stabbed Joe Salcido, I should say, after calling him a snitch and a pedophile. In court this morning, a judge is expected to hear motions surrounding evidence in this case. It does include a motion by the defense to exclude a statement made to law enforcement. We'll let you know what happens.
Today, Albuquerque City Councilors are likely to decide on a citywide tax increase. Now, they are proposing a 3/8 cent gross receipts tax increase. It needs a simple majority to pass. Now, the idea is touted as a way to better fund the understaffed Albuquerque Police Department by helping APD recruit and retain officers. Now, the tax increase is included in the mayor's list of ways to fix the city's $40 million deficit and increase revenue.
Happening right now, Governor Susana Martinez says she will approve a bill aimed at curbing auto theft across our state. Once signed, the bill will require auto recyclers to report information about the vehicles they purchase and the sellers of those vehicles to the state's Taxation and Revenue Department. Auto recyclers must also verify that vehicles are not stolen through a database before they do buy them.
New this morning, there's now a new city attorney in place for the city of Albuquerque. Mayor Tim Keller says he's appointed Esteban Aguilar Jr., touting he comes with a great deal of experience in law enforcement issues. Keller also points out Aguilar understands the issues Albuquerque is facing. Aguilar previously worked in private practice at the firm he founded with his father.
On to new news this morning. President Trump standing behind his decision to place import tariffs on aluminum and steel, tweeting in part, "Our steel and aluminum industries are dead." Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are criticizing the president's plan, saying we have allies overseas. British Prime Minister Theresa May called Trump on Sunday to express deep concern over the move to place 25% tariffs on steel and 10% on aluminum.
New this morning, we are learning Delta, Avis, MetLife, and other companies that cut their discounts and partnerships with the NRA are doing just fine. Now, that's according to new research by YouGov Brand Index. Now, survey results found consumer perception for most of those companies has remained largely unchanged. Now, Democrats felt more positive about the brands. Republicans didn't change their perception. It was only independents who steered negative.
This week, the Senate is expected to take an initial vote to roll back the Dodd-Frank banking regulations passed after the 2008 financial crisis. Opponents argue the move will weaken the oversight needed to prevent the type of lending and investing that caused the crisis. Regional banks and other financial firms have fought for years to reverse these regulations.
Happening today, a historic meeting. North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un is meeting with a high-ranking South Korean delegate in Pyongyang. The South's trip north is part of the South Korean President Moon Jae-in's attempt at a diplomatic solution to North Korea's nuclear program. That's the first face-to-face meeting for the countries since Kim Jong-un took power in 2011.
Happening right now, 250,000 students across West Virginia will not be returning to class today for an 8th school day, all thanks to one of the few statewide teacher strikes in U.S. history. The teachers say they won't return until lawmakers approve a 5% raise that they negotiated with the governor. Teachers in Oklahoma are now organizing their own walkout after legislators voted down a $5,000 pay raise. Kristen.
Today's Metro Threat Index at a 3. We have some very cold temperatures to start in the 20s. Breezy conditions at times with those northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, but sunshine overhead and high temperatures in the 50s this afternoon. Chris.
Happening this week, construction is set to begin at I-40 in Louisiana. Starting Wednesday through early May, crews will be working on the Louisiana on and off ramps for westbound I-40, We're told there will not be any full closures during the construction, but drivers should still expect delays in that area. The work set to take place overnight from 9 at night to 5 in the morning.
New this morning, students at the University of New Mexico are taking a stand, saying they want less of their fees to go to athletics. According to the Journal, the Students' Review Board is recommending a little more than $3 million in student fees go to athletics. These student fees represent just a portion of the athletic budget, which is about $35 million. We'll let you know what the Board of Regents decides.
This morning, the UNM men's basketball team sitting pretty for the Mountain West tournament starting in just days. The Lobos got the win over Fresno State. Wasn't easy, though. After tying up the game, forcing overtime, the Lobos pulled off that win. That means this morning UNM is the three seed in the tournament, allowing them to skip the first round. They will play this Thursday, taking on the winner of Wyoming and San Jose State game.
Time now for a check on your Monday morning commute. No major crashes out there this morning, looking pretty good on both interstates. Just a reminder, southbound Louisiana at Comanche is closed this week due to construction.
An Albuquerque native's newly developed video game is garnering attention from around the world. 34-year-old Seth Scott lived in New Mexico for more than 20 years. He graduated from UNM and even worked at Carlos Ray Elementary at one point. But he decided to enter a fine arts program at NYU. From there, Scott started creating Membrane, a two-dimensional building game. Soon after, Nintendo asked if it could sell his game. Scott says you can find Membrane on the Nintendo Switch for $10.
How cool is that? I like that. A photo of a toddler who was awestruck by the portrait of the former First Lady Michelle Obama. It's gone viral. It was snapped at the National Portrait Gallery by a visitor from North Carolina who posted it on his Facebook page. It shows 2-year-old Parker Curry staring at the towering portrait of Michelle Obama. Parker's mother said the little girl was so amazed she wouldn't even turn around for a picture.
Pretty sweet. All right, time for the 5 facts.
Start with number 5 here. The city of Roswell is celebrating Roswell High School's dance team. This after being crowned national champs. The Roswell High School Charlie's Angels dance team took first place in the large varsity pom category. This was all at the NDA High School Nationals this weekend. The event was held in Orlando, Florida. It's the second time the team has taken home gold in the same category. When the girls won in 2016, they arrived home to a police and fire escort.
At number 4, educators from across the metro area are taking safety into their own hands. One APS teacher opened up her own space and partnered with a local combat coach to start self-defense classes. Part of the training includes how to properly use pepper spray. Now, the teachers say they can defend themselves with an advanced version of pepper spray. They're now calling for a change in APS policy to allow them to carry it. APS officers have active shooter training, but it's unclear if teachers do. We reached out to APS for comment, but did not hear back.
At number 3, cooler temperatures across the state today. Albuquerque only in the low 50s, which is short of average for us. Mostly sunny conditions overhead. We're just talking high clouds today. No rain or snow expected. Breezy conditions out east, but lighter winds, more sunshine, and warmer temperatures expected tomorrow.
Number 2 now. Prominent leaders in Santa Fe are joining forces to make their voices heard at City Hall. They, along with the group Somos un Pueblo Unido, say they're speaking out against a new wave of immigration and customs enforcement audits on locally owned Santa Fe businesses. Last week, as part of ramped up ICE enforcement efforts across the country, more than 230 people were arrested during a 4-day raid in Northern California. Here in New Mexico, the group says ICE began targeting locally owned businesses in Santa Fe and other cities by delivering I-9 audit notices in person to several employers. Somos un Pueblo says the audits can often result in workers losing their jobs and could potentially lead to deportation. This is happening today at noon in front of City Hall that's in Santa Fe.
And at number 1, this morning, fire crews are still battling a blaze in a remote part of Kirtland Air Force Base. New video into our newsroom gives us a first look at the blaze. Officials say the wildfire started around 4 yesterday afternoon in the eastern training ranges. It's estimated to be around 200 acres. Now, more than 24 firefighters are on scene as they work with local authorities and the U.S. Forest Service. Now, crews are tackling spot fires near access roads. So far, no injuries have been reported and no structures are threatened. The blaze is an example of the dangerous high winds across the state yesterday.
We have a lot more coming up on Fox New Mexico. We'll see you on the other side.